Good day to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning into Round 5, the final round of the 2023 MRC BF1 League, brought to you by the Master Race Car Team and New Dimension Racing. Today is the swan song for the 2023 BF1 League. As I just said, today, Round 5, the Grand Prix of Japan at the Kyoto International Reverse Circuit. No boothy chicane, so an extra challenge for our drivers today. I am joined in the commentary box by Peter Butcher. The familiar voice of Tom Jones is in France this weekend, attending the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So we wish him well. He's had a great weekend. Peter, thank you for joining me for the final round.
Great to be here. Obviously, I was at round 4, so yeah, that was fun to do that with Tom, and I'm looking forward to doing the finale with you, Travis. So let's do it.
And likewise, I am thrilled to be here with you. We do miss Tom, but again, we're sure he's having a wonderful weekend. There, you can see the layout for today's race, the Kyoto Grand Prix Reverse Circuit. Qualifying underway in the background, a little more than 10 minutes remaining. Very challenging circuit. Once again, no boothy chicane here. So that very challenging, air quotes, chicane there, going from the first part of the Grand Prix circuit and back onto the Kyoto National part of the circuit. Drivers, we expect, will be repairing suspension damage today when they take fuel on board these machines. At least one stop today. Drivers running R3, probably R4, R2s almost certainly will not work in the race unless somebody goes with a very creative and aggressive strategy. Once again, the machine we are using for this series, the 2006 BMW Sauber F1.06 machine, has a screaming 19,000 RPM 2.4-liter V8 engine behind the driver, making 720 horsepower for a mere 1,169 pounds of weight to push around this circuit. We have already crowned a couple champions, one in the team standings, Team Sidus, on all of the effort, the masterclass by Gabor there with 89 points. Born to Race and Fragmaster still locked up tight for second and third. That could go either way. We have a Fragmaster driver in today, and we also have a B2R driver in today. MRC not far away. Road Apreza also there on 36 points, though I don't believe we have any Road Apreza drivers today. We do have an MRC driver in there. So second place could go to anyone, but Team Side is still there at the top. And we'll take a look at the Drivers' Championship standings. Gabor already locked this up. He will be crowned the champion once again, but still to play for there from second down to fifth place. All four of those drivers, Ralph Cotteboniak, Ayub, Imran Azar, Igor Santos, all of them on track today. Any one of those drivers could come away with second position. Pete, we have cars out on track. I'm watching Adam Brown myself, who is starting a flying lap. Well, it looks like he's just given up on a flying lap with about 9 minutes remaining. Gabor is the class of the field at the moment on a 1 minute 41.51 seconds lap. He is in the hunt for a world record. We set a challenge for him before the qualifying session started. He was only 17 hundredths off on a lap in the free practice session, and he still has some time to maybe dazzle us once more with another superlative qualifying effort.
Yeah, he's not currently on the track, so I think he's quite happy with his 1 minute 41.51, which I would be too, because that's almost, well, it's 0.3 of a second. Well, isn't it? 7/10 of a second faster than Imran Azar. We just saw Zdravko Topolniak come across start finish to start another lap. He's got 8 minutes in the session. That's enough time for at least a couple of laps.
Yeah, and Zdravko we would expect to be in the upper half of the grid. He admitted before that he had not had much chance to practice, but he's come up to speed very quickly. As we look to Martins right here, running in 8th position right now, 45.07, well off the pace set by Gabor, but respectable for a first-time competitor in this series, though looks like he will be held up. I believe that's Imran Azar in an MRC machine in front of him. David Gaj we've seen before in the F1 League, though not in recent rounds. A respectable 5th position, 43.32, still 2 seconds behind Gabor, but nobody's going to be anywhere close to Gabor. He is just so good, an artist in these cars, the BF1 car. Well, many cars in Live Speed, but this one in particular. So we watch David Gaj come through the final corners across the start-finish line now. See if he is starting a lap or concluding one. He is beginning a lap right now. So David Gaj on the power through this right-hand sweeping bend, hard on the brakes for what is a much easier chicane going the other direction, but on the power, slowing down all the way through it. Right-hand hairpin here, nice and clean on the power early. And now this is the most difficult part of the circuit. He'll come through these sweeping bends, just clipping the curves to shorten the track as much as possible, and then sail it over this farce of a chicane, it must be said. Just touches the wall on the outside as he comes around to the oval part of the circuit. After he makes this long, sweeping, banked left-hand corner, he will be at maximum grip, maximum G-forces turning to the right here. Full power, no lift, 5.5 G cornering. Keeps it nice and tight on the exit. Wants to avoid the grass on the way out, which he does. Now a couple more sweeping bends, and this corner on the left, a bit like the Degner corner in Suzuka, stays well clear of the grass on the exit. He's approaching a slower car ahead. Couldn't see who that was. It is Yasin Badal who jumps out of the way. Once again, high G cornering here as he comes down the hill, gradually leaning out the power. A little bit wide on the exit there, but keeps it nice and tight down to 3rd gear, up on the power, over the curbing here. Now he'll jump on the brakes one more time for this slow 3rd gear left-hand corner, and he will wind up the power through the sweeping bends, coming toward the end of this lap. Very tricky going this direction around the Kyoto International, the Grand Prix circuit, because what is the first chicane going the other way is now a final chicane. Full throttle on the way in, quick jab of the brakes, pitch the car over the curb on the left, on the power, just touches the grass. That won't compromise him too badly. And now the run down to the finish line, keeping it nice and tight to the wall to shorten the track as much as possible. And that's not a half bad lap, Pete. 43.4. He doesn't improve, but still very consistent lap times from David Gaj.
Yeah, good effort. Nicely called there. Here is Adam, Mr. Adam Brown, driving in a Sim Broadcast livery. He's got some work to do. He's currently P4 if he wants to make any headway on the front row of the grid. He's also got to worry about the cars behind, because there's a couple of cars who could potentially improve as he goes wide and off the circuit at the final corner. So that's going to either scupper his current lap and almost certainly scupper any following laps that he's going to do. And he comes in the pit lane. So that's the end of his run. But time maybe for one more flying lap if you can get it turned around quick enough.
Should indeed. You have to go pretty slowly on the outlap here because they want to take R2s for a quick qualifying lap, but the lap is so long and the corners are so quick that if you run out at speed, then you use up those R2s long before you actually start a flying lap. As we watch Magic come by, that is Zdravko Topolniak coming out of the pits. Magic gets the chicane a little bit wrong, but cleans it up for the hairpin. That car looking a bit of a handful for him, though on a 44.9, not a bad performance. Yeah, Adam looked like when he was coming through the final corner, took a big bite of the chicane and upset the car a little bit, but he does indeed have more time, as we discussed. Pete, I'll put you on the spot here. Adam has been a somewhat regular participant in this series. I believe he's done maybe 3 of the rounds. But who did it better? Me in the SBTV livery, or Adam?
I can't answer that until I see him in the race.
I can't believe you've copped out like this.
I have. I'm sorry.
There we go. Following Magic around, we picked him up once again. Just touches the curb there in, I'm not sure which corner number it is, but we will affectionately call it Degner. And now coming through these sweeping bends. Really tricky downhill here, as we mentioned a moment ago. If you recall, Pete, we had the endurance race, the 6-hour or 12-hour Argentina Turismo race here, and we got to see the LMP2 cars going the other direction up the hill. We had an amazing slow motion replay that Elmo brought us there. Hope we get to see more of that soon. Magic, speaking of seeing things, is seeing a couple mirrors full of Zdravko Ponyak there. A lap to forget for Magic, while Zdravko Ponyak wants to get a good run to start his flying lap and get a little bit of a tow down the front straightaway here, so this might come to his advantage if Magic jumps out of the way before he properly begins this lap, which he does. Zdravko Ponyak through to start a flying lap. This will be his final attempt.
Yeah, Magic actually improved there, so that's a good effort from him. Yeah, and speaking of the Argentina Turismo, it was in fact a 6-hour, but we've been teased with a new endurance from them, so keep your eyes peeled. Something happening soon there, but here we go. Zdravko Polniak is on to a lap. He got a tow down the home straight from Magic, so this is the best chance he's had so far this session if he wants to get an improved time in. He's heading up to Spoon already. These cars are seriously fast, but you know, Kyoto GP long reversed is a super long track as well, so you know, it's not over in a flash. There's a lot to do, a lot of work to do. These corners come at you thick and fast. Here comes the infamous corner. It's turn 9 in the other direction. We refer to it as turn 9 or that corner, and no issues for Zdravko on his flyer. 2 minutes to go in qualifying, Travis, and it's starting to ramp up. We're going to see a few improvers. I think we've already seen Magic improve. Can Zdravko improve after that tow to be gone?
Could indeed. He's pretty far down the order now in 11th with a 45.7. We know he has more pace in that car, and he tends to be not a top qualifier, but a very strong qualifier. What we will need to keep an eye on as cars are finishing their final flying laps, Imran Azar, Igor Santos, right there together, 300 separating them for the for second place honors at the start of the race. I don't think anyone is going to touch Gabor. Even Gabor isn't going to touch Gabor. He has not come out to make another attempt. As you said a few minutes ago, Peter, he is quite comfortable with his 41.51 average. Zdravko improves a ton. Finds another 3 seconds right up there with Igor Santos. He won't have time to set another lap, but that puts him comfortably on the second row of the grid. He's got a half a second in hand to Adam Brown. We'll have to look to see if Adam is out on track. I mentioned that Gabor would not be going back out, and how wrong I am. Pete has worked the cameras to pick up Gabor, who is going to come through. This looks like he's at the end of the lap. He is indeed. So he will come by to start one more flying lap in just a few seconds. He should cross the line right as time expires. So we will keep an eye on Gabor, see if he is able to improve, see if he's able to set a world record time in qualifying as he comes through the final bend there. Rear of the car, getting away from him a little bit. Out over the grass, there's that little escape road there, so he would have been able to get the traction down there and flick the car back on the circuit and compromise his time a few hundredths. May have sacrificed a world record time there, but he will still be very much on pace. And while we were talking about Gabor here, Pete, Igor Santos improves up to 42.19, so he's found 500ths to go ahead of Imran Azar. Adam has just squeaked through to start another flying lap, so lots of drivers on circuit now, several drivers improving. Very exciting conclusion to qualifying, Pete.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing hopefully another masterclass here from Gabor as he heads through turn number 1 of the oval and into Spoon Corner. We go. He's absolutely pushing flat out, absolutely nails his entry into the Spoon Corner there. But he was quite heavily into the traction control at the beginning of the lap. We've not watched on board with him so far in this session, so difficult to tell where he is currently in relation to his best time, but let's keep with him as he heads down through the sweepers, and we'll be heading across into Sector 3 right now. And wow, he's absolutely on fire. He's got pole position wrapped up pretty much by a colossal margin over everybody else. He doesn't need to be out on the track, Travis, but he is. He's showing off, and he's going to see if he can get that all-important world record lap time in qualifying. That would be an absolute feat. Let's see if he can manage it. One chicane to go, Trav.
Yeah, here he is approaching this final chicane now. Full throttle on the way in, quick jab of the brakes, and then throw it over the curb here. You just want to touch it, not take too much. A little bit of the grass, but that won't compromise him too badly. I don't think this will be a world record lap. Behind him, Imran Azar set 2 very good splits through 1 and 2. Gabor does not improve, still on 41.51, but Imran Azar may have a shot here at taking second position. Imran Azar finds 4 tenths to go up to second position with a 41.85. He'll be thrilled with that. Only 3 tenths off Gabor. Adam Brown coming across the line now, very close to the pit wall, short the track as much as he can. No improvement, still there, 42.9. So amazing effort from Imran Azar. Pete, he was improving through the first 2 splits, but I don't think we expected that.
No, I mean, that was as we thought we were going to see some changes at the fall of the flag, and we did. And Gabor takes the pole position with a 1 minute 41.59. He didn't improve on his last run, Travis, but he didn't need to, let's be honest. A mighty effort. How close was that to the world record anyway?
That would be, let me do some math, that is 28 hundredths off, 38 hundredths off, 38 hundredths off. No, sorry, 34 hundredths off. The world record is a 41.17, 41.18, around there. I believe it's 41.18 actually.
It's so some hundredths off, but
some hundredths off. Yeah, he is in the ballpark, as we would say here in the States. There you see the qualifying results. Gabor trying for a world record, can't quite pull it off, but does manage to stay ahead of Imran Azar. Gabor pole position with a minute 41.51 seconds. Imran Azar squeaks across the line in the on his final flying lap with a minute 41.85 to start alongside Gabor. Igor Santos had a great fight in qualifying with Imran Azar until Imran Azar put his stamp on second position. Igor Santos will start third alongside Zdravko Deponiak. Great effort from him. Very little practice, but finding pace late. Adam Brown will start fifth alongside David Gaj, with Jimmy and Magic starting 7th and 8th. Yasin Badal in 9th. Todd Gonzalez in 10th. Martin's in 11th. And Christie, we'll have to wait and see if he will be permitted to start. He is not a new competitor. He has run in this series before. I believe he ran the round at South City and was allowed to start there. But as you can see, well outside the 107% benchmark. If he does start, he will be starting at the official's discretion. So we will wait to get some information there. Qualifying concluded. Once again, Gabor will start on pole position. Pete, the man is an artist, a maestro of all things live for speed, but in particular the BF1. And here he begins the Swan Song event, the final event of season 3, with a very strong performance in qualifying.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think, who is going to be able to shine a light to this performance today? I think Azar is going to have to pull everything out of the bag if he wants to be even close. But Gabor is human after all. He can make mistakes. This is a super tricky track. And remember, in the build-up, you mentioned that we are not running the Boothie variant of this track, which that's going to cause some controversy at some point throughout this race, because that chicane, if you take too much of it and you're too greedy, you're going to end up with some mighty damage on your car, and you're going to be forced to repair it. There is absolutely no doubt about it. So some of these drivers are going to find themselves being forced, pretty much, Travis, into pit stops to repair not only change tyres, of course, because 2 compounds are required, but also to repair damage.
Yes, indeed. The curbing alone is treacherous, but if you get even more greedy than a healthy bite of curbing, touching the sausage curbs further inside, even more dangerous. So, yeah, as you said, the drivers need to be very cautious about the chicane. You have to be somewhat aggressive to keep the pace high and run as quickly as you possibly can, but does require some caution, some judicious appetite, if you will, with the curbing there. But we will almost certainly see drivers repairing damage when they come in for fuel stops. There, once again, is the configuration. It's the Kyoto Ring GP Long reverse circuit, going the wrong way, if you will, from the start-finish line and through the first part of the circuit onto the national part of the oval, and then backward through all of these sweeping bends that are so tricky the other direction, but even more so going this way. Qualifying concluded. Drivers are doing the briefing right now with race control. This race will be 41 laps beginning in about 12 minutes time, Pete. So we have a few minutes to chit chat. You mentioned a minute ago that this track is treacherous, the chicane in particular, which we have talked extensively about. Zdravko Duponiak led this championship in the early running. The very first event, Gabor was in command at West Hill and then put one wheel wrong. It's so easy to make the same mistake here. I don't anticipate seeing that from Gabor, but then who's there, Pete? Are you an Igor Santos man? His pace is good, but Imran Azar right there putting on a show in qualifying. Could one of these guys snatch a victory today, or do you feel like it is Gabor all the way, flag to flag?
Well, I would have been in the kind of Ayub or Igor territory until Zdravko slammed in that amazing lap at the end of qualifying. I thought for a moment that he wasn't going to be on pace, and then he redeemed himself pretty much. So yeah, I'd say it's advantage Zdravko for P2, and we'll just have to see if Imran can keep his position. He's obviously had a mighty qualifying, but can he hold that in the race? We've seen some varied performances from both those drivers throughout the season, and as you can tell by this graphic, Imran has come out slightly worse off than Zdravko on average. But the biggest story of this table is just how dominant Gabor has been this season. What a ridiculous lead.
Yes, indeed, and he does this everywhere, not just in BF1. The second season champion, as we said at the top of the broadcast, will be the third season champion. He already has a points tally well clear of any challenge from his rivals. Gabor, as we've said, the maestro of Live for Speed and the BF1 cars. There you can see the championship standings all the way down to 27th place. A dubious minus 10 points for Mark Planell's. 27 participants so far in this series. Unfortunate that we've not had that many on any one grid, but still good to see 27 drivers have participated in the BF1 league. Cars or drivers readying up in the background. The briefing is still going on. There we see the championship standings. Once again, Team Citus have this locked up. Position 1, the champions will be Team Citus on 89 points, well ahead of Born to Race. I said earlier on that Born to Race have drivers in the hunt today. They don't. Ayub had set laps in practice and was here. I believe he set laps as late as the free practice session, but clearly indisposed, has other obligations today. So Born to Race will not be able to defend this second position. All Zdravko Duponiak has to do is score a point. 10th place or better will do. Any tie breaks should go to him, because I don't believe Born to Race have not won any races this season, whereas Zdravko Duponiak has. So if Zdravko can finish 10th or better, the Fragmaster team will come second in the team's championship. Still a lot to play for in the Drivers' Championship. We will wait to see how this race unfolds and who is able to snatch second position. Once again, this is round 5, the final round of the MRC BF1 League 2023 season at the Kyoto Ring GP reverse circuit. Peter and I will take a breath for just a moment while we wait for everyone to finish organizing in the background, and we will be right back for the conclusion of Season 3 of the MRC BF1 League. We are back. Thank you for our patience while we take a short break there to get a quick drink of water, a breath, take care of our biological imperatives while we wind up for this race. We have a few things yet to talk about before we kick off the final round. One, do visit the simbroadcast.tv store. If you have a chance, we've got t-shirts, we have stickers. We would really appreciate your patronage by buying some of our merchandise. So head over to simbroadcast.tv if you would like to pick up some of our very cool looking gear. Also, new Dimension Racing themed gear on that store, and you can get the combination SBTV and NDR stuff if you so choose. Sticker sheets all come with that stuff, and you can get the combination t-shirts as well. And if you would like to join our broadcast team, the booth is open for competent broadcast professionals. Well, not that we're professionals, Pete. I would say I'm happy with our amateur performances. Maybe you can weigh in with your assessment when I'm done talking here. If you would like to join our team, we're recruiting, so go to simbroadcast.tv/join, fill out the forms there, submit some material, and we'll have a chat with you. Second, Peter, we've got a prize up for grabs during this event. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so big shout out to Rick Rashitska, who's put this series together for Master Race Car. Of course, it's a team effort, but Ricky's the man behind this series. He's putting together a €10 prize draw for all of the drivers who have started all of the rounds. So that leaves 3 eligible drivers: cars 1, 2, and 10. So Gabor, Igor Santos, and Zdravko Topolniak are going to be in that draw for the €10 prize. If they're listening, they'll have to contact Ricky within an hour of the broadcast ending for them to claim that prize. But yes, the draw will happen at some point during the broadcast, and we will announce the winner of that. So thank you, Ricky, of course. Yeah, and just a big shout out to the MRC team and to Ricky again for putting this together, because without them we couldn't have it. Yes, this series has been marred again by low attendance, which is a big shame, but we're going to go out with a bang, Travis. We've got plenty of drivers here today to enjoy it one final time.
Yes, indeed. Ricky puts a ton of effort and a lot of love into this event, to this car, to this competition, and we love it just as much as he does. Me in particular, I just love the fastest race cars that money can buy, that drivers can drive. So this has been so exciting to me to bring to all of you for the past 3 seasons. I've been along for the entire, bar a couple rounds where I had other obligations. I've been along for the full ride. Did the first season with Adam Brown, and then second and third season with Tom Jones, and a few appearances by yourself, Peter, filling in as necessary. This has been a wonderful ride. I've really enjoyed the BF1 League, and I'm thrilled to bring the final round of the 2023 season to all of you with Peter today.
Yeah, I'd say it's a shame that Tom Jones isn't here, but the jammy guy is in Le Mans enjoying the 24 hours, so I don't feel too bad for him.
Yeah, if he were really dedicated, he would maybe he would pop in on his phone. It might sound a little bit crappy, but we would at least get to hear him in the big finale. But as you said, sure, he's having a great time. He's probably not too sorry that he isn't here, and we wish him well. We're glad he's having fun in the north of France this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, moments to go then before 41 laps around Kyoto Ring GP long reversed. The drivers must use 2 tyre compounds, Travis. We haven't had the official word on what the best strategy is, so we're going to go into this pretty blind, to be honest. We're going to have to just, wing it, as we say, and see what drivers choose which strategy. And that always leaves us with plenty of intrigue throughout these races. We're going to be treated to just under 2 hours, I believe, because this track is super long, super technical. So hopefully no need for any safety cars. But just to mention for the final time that, of course, this series has been officially sanctioned by New Dimension Racing. And therefore, we have a fleet of race directors and race control and stewards in the background. Today, your race director will be Jonathan Palmer. We've got Stuart Baker as the safety car, and Trespasser makes a return to race control. Ricky's in there too. So yeah, we thank them as well for their dedication. Yeah, I think the briefing is a wrap, and we are moments away from a green light, Travis, or rather a formation lap.
Yep, formation lap in just a moment. We have a couple drivers remaining to ready up. We do have
Ooh.
we have a bit of drama, some spice in the background.
Yeah.
So car 25 of Ayub El Anouni has just joined the session. That means Ayub will be fighting for points for Born to Race from the back of the grid. So we now have a proper three-way fight for that second position in the team's championship and in the drivers' championship. So we will have to keep an eye on this. We may, Pete, the one time we may have to kind of put Gabor to the side for a day. We'll pick him up at the beginning and the end because we anticipate he'll fly away in the lead, and we'll have to watch this fight for second position in the team's drivers' championship.
Yes,
so this
Chris
is very exciting.
busy.
Yes, he will.
We
Thank
missed a
you
massive
very
trick
much.
there, Travis. We should have said Ayub. Anyway,
we should
yeah,
oh,
Chris is going to be very busy working out the points in the background with that battle. That's a shock to him.
Yeah, hats off to Ayub for joining late. That also means he will be eligible for that €10 prize. So he was eligible according to the rules for this drawing, and then became ineligible for not attending today. Now he's back in. So the 1, 2, 10, and 25 cars, that's Gabor, Zdravko Deponiak, Igor Santos, and Ayub El Anouni, all eligible for a €10 prize. Ayub joins and then is dismissed back to pit lane once again. That's okay. He'll be able to take up his spot at the end of pit lane for a pit lane start. Ayub leads the way off the grid.
Lap.
There you hear the message from race control. Green flag for the formation lap. A little bit of confusion in the background with the course cars. I'm sure they'll get that sorted out. Gabor leads the way into the first corner for the formation lap. There's Imran Azar, who will start alongside Igor Santos, Zdravko Deponiak behind. I was about to say Ayub El Anouni, late comer, will be the 13th driver taking the start today. So among the better grids we've had for this event. And he will be able to spice this up. We know Ayub is very quick. He is a winner in this series in season 2, if I recall correctly, though he has had some heartbreaks with internet connections, all to play for.
We've got someone
second
off.
Position. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, we've got Jimmy off in the grass after just one corner during the formation lap, and the car seems to be struggling to get back on the road as well. So that's not a good sign. 2 corners into a formation lap. We'll hope he can pull himself together and catch up to the back of the field, because that could delay the start hugely if he can't make it round. So potential problems for race control from the word go. Gabor's already coming up to the sector 3 line. So yeah, he's on a mission.
He is, and so we'll keep an eye on Jimmy, see if he's able to resume his grid position. He would have been, I believe he was starting 11th ahead of Christie, so he won't be, he was coming to the back of the grid anyway. Watching Imran Azar come through these bends now. Lots of gaps between drivers, plenty of space between cars on the formation lap. I would say uncharacteristically large gaps between drivers, so it may take a little bit longer than we're used to for everyone to bunch up on the grid. As Gabor coming through the final corners now, he'll be around a couple sweeping right-head bends, that final chicane, and then the long run down to the start-finish line. Start-finish line here close to the first corner, obviously going in the reverse direction for the GP circuit. Would be a much longer run down to this corner if we were going the other way, but fairly short run into the first corner. Then it gets tricky, very tight with that left-right chicane after the first sweeping corner. So a possibility of cars coming together here. I would say an above-average chance of a safety car. Pete, while we're waiting for cars to join the grid, we'll talk a little bit about strategy. My guess, as Gabor misses his grid box, he goes to the right of it, reverses, and then joins the he joins his grid box, but he was well to the right.
I mean,
of
look at the angle of his car.
Yeah, this an uncharacteristic mistake by
He's got a
Gabor.
long wait here as well. He's done the formation lap very, very quickly. We've got cars just coming into the back of shot now to form up, but very strange beginning to this race. I think as Ayub, Ayub joins now. Adam's also rejoined. So some absolute chaos going on in this formation lap, Travis. We do have Jimmy there just weaving his way into position at the back, so he has managed to catch up with the field. Again, we've got cars not sure which side of the road to pull into. Oh, uncomfortable, but we'll see if everyone can manage to get into a grid spot for the start of this race. We've got, interesting situation.
Yeah, that was Christie lined up on the wrong side of the grid. Everyone else just slowly taking up positions. The rule dictates to drivers they're supposed to take the next available grid position. Adam
Abort
Brown
start,
has
another
spun off
formation lap.
somewhere.
Abort start, another formation lap.
And I don't know if that race control message went out, but that was an aborted start. We'll do another formation lap. So Gabor leads them away once again under the flashing red lights and the yellow race control lights.
What is going on here? We've got a car going backwards on the grid.
Yeah, that was Christie.
Okay.
Christie spun coming out of his grid box to take the second formation lap. So an auspicious start to this race. This will take one lap off the ultimate tally. Gabor leads them away again. Imran Azar in tow. I thought I saw Zdravko Deponiak behind Imran Azar. No, Igor Santos is back there. I missed Igor Santos. I thought maybe Igor had spun off somewhere. Okay, so we wait for these drivers to come around. There's one lap off the count, Pete. Awkward start. Gabor will get another shot to get into his grid spot correctly. Perhaps we could talk about strategy a little bit while we wait for drivers to come around. Lots of R4 starters.
Yes, so these drivers will be going either fairly long or fairly short, depending on what their strategy is, and then switching on to those R3s to do the remainder. It's interesting that we do have the top three choosing the R4 strategy, and then Zdravko, who could be our dark horse here in P4 at the moment, running those R3 tyres to begin with. So I like the fact that we've got split strategies going on here, Travis, that things aren't just going to be a parade. We're going to see some interesting some shakeouts here for sure.
Yes, and I think this partly explains Gabor's pace on the formation lap, though he has to strike kind of an awkward balance here. He wants to go around with some pace to put heat in those tires, but I think he's gone quickly enough that he's going to be stationary for enough time that those tires will cool off. My semi-informed opinion here is that I think R4s will work better here than they might pretty much anywhere else, because there are so many high-speed corners, high G corners where the car relies on the downforce, puts plenty of stress on those tires being fully loaded at maximum speed with all of the downforce working on the car. So R4s, a necessary penalty basically anywhere else, but I feel like they'll be okay here today. Though it remains to be seen how it'll work. Almost certainly won't see R2s. Definitely not any R2 runners here at the start, but anything could shake out during the race as we watch Gabor take up his grid spot correctly this time, Pete. He's neatly into the three lines that form the front of the box.
Yeah, the drivers are rolling their way into the pit box. It looks a lot cleaner this time. Gabor especially has managed to get the car into a straighter position than it was before, as the rest of the cars form up in the background, hopefully in a better way than we saw on the first formation lap. It looks like we're getting there this time, although we do have cars in a different order because, of course, Christie did spin it, I believe, and we'll have Adam Brown and Ayub El-Hanouni at the end of pit lane awaiting the start from there. Here they are. You've got Adam actually ahead of Ayub. It's good to see Ayub here. Good to see that he could make it.
Yes, indeed. I'm not entirely sure how they ended up in that order. I assume Ayub joined after Adam decided to take up that position at the end of pit lane. Here we go. Lights coming up. This formation lap appears to have stuck all of the cars in their grid positions for the final time. Lights coming up. 4 red lights. 5 waiting for them to go out. All of these cars at full song. 19,000 RPM. Green lights on. Cars away. Great start by Gabor. Waiting for 2 cars to leave pit lane. Imran Azar defending second position from Zdravko Deponiak, who has gotten by Igor Santos at the start. Great start by Zdravko Deponiak, though. I see a car looking up the inside on the way through. Yasin Badal has sailed it through. Igor Santos has gone way wide and through the tires. Zdravko Deponiak got the rear of the car away from him, managed to gather it up, went across the curbing on the inside. This has all gone horribly wrong for Igor Santos, Pete. Oh, contact with another car as they come back up to speed. Igor Santos from 3rd position on the grid all the way down to 10th, 11th, no, up to 8th position with that schmozzle with other cars rejoining. So everyone away, a little bit raggedly in the background. Gabor leads the way, has about a second in hand over Imran Azar. Now, Zdravko Deponiak takes up 3rd. Todd Gonzalez, in all of that, Peter, Todd Gonzalez went sailing by all of those drivers to take 4th position.
Well, you've got to be in position to make up for the kerfuffle that happens at the start of these races, and what a kerfuffle it was. We had so many cars off at the end of the Turn 1 section. Santos goes straight through the tyres, almost certainly an early pit stop for him to repair damage, and then tagging Christie as well as they exited, sorry, not Christie, Jimmy, as they exited the first sector. But yeah, Todd Gonzalez, big gain at the start of this race. Gabor has had a clean start, but Imran Azar is right there with him. That gap is reasonable at the moment for the start. Zdravko, he's made up a place as well, so P3 for him at the moment. But Todd Gonzalez, the big mover at the beginning.
Yes, indeed. And Magic right behind him all the way up to 5th position. Ayub El-Anouni behind them up to 8th from a pit lane start. Was able to get by Adam Brown and then all of the stricken cars there in the first corner as we watch Gabor come across the line now to start the 3rd lap of the race. Magic having a fight with, that'll be Todd Gonzalez. Magic closing quickly. Todd Gonzalez, I don't believe he has the pace to run in the top 4, but consistency is everything.
Possible
and hearing
safety
that
car.
Igor Santos, yeah, Igor Santos is beached. That car is not coming out, though he's making steady progress here. Pete working the front tires, kind of shifts the load around the rears, but I think that might be properly mired.
Yeah, that's going to be a beach situation. It'll need a rescue car to get in there and dig it out, so potentially VSC, but I would suggest that we're going to have an early safety car here, unless he's out before Gabor gets around, which at this speed, he is not going to be, so we'll have to wait and see. Gabor enters Spoon for the 2nd time of asking, and he's already opened up the gap to... Oh, there was going to be a race control message, but I think we missed it.
VSC in.
Well, there was a VSC call.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Gabor's... Oh, goodness me. So Gabor has jumped the call for the VSC, and there's now a bit of confusion. Now, Gabor should let that car through. He misjudged when the VSC was called.
He did. We actually saw this in the Le Mans 24-hour last night, and it resulted in a big collision that ended up in the retirement of a few cars. I feel like Imran timed that perfectly and legitimately made the overtake.
I think so too, but we'll have to wait for the stewards to decide. I feel like Gabor's messed that up. Yeah, he's going to let the car through. I think that's the right thing to do. Imran just judged that better, I think.
Indeed.
From what I was hearing in my ear, anyway.
Yeah, so we dutifully jumped out of the way and had, I think, a bit of chop in the audio for the race control messages. But there we watched Imran Azar approaching at the back of Gabor's car as the VSC starting call came out. Igor Santos away. He will almost certainly lose a lap because he will need to come into... I doubt he'll be able to continue without repairing. He will have gone straight into the tire barrier very hard, so the front of that car will be wonky at best. So Igor Santos, his day has gone from bad to worst. Started in the 3rd position, all the way down in 13th now, and going to lose a lap almost certainly. The front of this race has been shaken up. So Gabor, as we mentioned a moment ago, seated first position to Imran Azar as we go green. The VSC has ended. Now Gabor needs to get by Imran Azar, and it's not easy to pass here, Pete.
No, it is not, but he's coming onto the straight now. Azar's got a decent run here, but yeah, Gabor is taking a tighter line. Imran is trying to... Oh, what's happened there? What has happened there?
Has Imran timed out? What's happened?
Controller issue.
Well, that's a shame. So,
I mean, yeah, he just speared off completely to the right-hand side of the track and off into the wall, and that's an absolute disaster for him. Big shame there for Imran Azar.
Yeah, so that's... Yeah, as he held the lead for less than a lap, and then a controller issue sends him spearing off the circuit and tumbling down the order.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be a shame for him.
That's the only car that was really going to affect Gabor's run. So now there's a 6-second gap between Gabor and Zdravko. We might have lost our intrigue at the front of the race, unfortunately, with that one. So I feel massively bad for Imran, whatever happened there. Yeah, it just speared off over start-finish.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me before in a Fox Friday event, actually, straight up into the wall. And fortunately, this was in qualifying. I was allowed to rejoin the session and just barely made the show. when that happened, Yassin Vidal also speared off the circuit somewhere and then left the confines of the circuit, so he was reset by the game. I don't know that he will be allowed to rejoin. There's a discussion happening in chat. Looking at Ayoub El Anouni, while all of this is going on, Ayoub has gone from 13th pit lane start up to 6th, so a brilliant effort from him to take points for Born to Race. Still behind Zdravko Deponiak on circuit. So advantage to Fragmaster and Zdravko Deponiak in the drivers and teams
we've had another accident, Travis. Gonzalez has had maybe a coming together with Magic, I don't know, but he's going very, very slowly. We've got Abe going for a move on David Godge as well into the penultimate set of corners, and he's through. So up to P5 for El Hanouni. And will he pick up another place? Because whatever's happened to Ted Gonzalez isn't good. He's up to full speed, but I want to know what happened to him.
Yeah, I don't know yet if he came together with Magic or not. Todd Gonzalez was, possibly. It looks like
front right
the front right wing. Yeah, you're right, Pete. The front right wing is a little bit damaged. He was 4th, promoted to 3rd when Imran Azar went spearing off, and now back down to 4th again. As we look forward to Gabor, this man in charge, goes, a little bit wide there. A mistake like that, one small mistake like that one, is all Zdravko Deponiak would need to take the top spot, though Zdravko nearly makes the same mistake himself. These corners are tricky, Pete, not just because they're so fast and they rely so much on the downforce of the car, but if we recall the Argentina Turismo event we saw here, there was a terrible gusting crosswind across those corners that caught this man and one other driver out when they did not expect to be shoved aside by the weather conditions.
Oh, yeah, the wind caused absolute havoc during that race. And, I love a bit of havoc caused by wind. It is an unpredictable factor, but one that can definitely shake up a race. Who can adapt the best? As Zdravko approaching the final sector, we hear that Ted Gonzalez, he lost it around here all on his own. There was no outside influence from Magic. He just dropped a wheel on the grass, looped the car, and has been able to recover.
Yeah, Christie's clutch. Yeah, we saw Christie going around slowly a moment ago. Gabor went flying by, and then the other leaders went through, as we see another. I believe that was that David.
If this car doesn't remove itself from the track, Travis, we're going to have another safety car here.
Well, I think, this car can't remove itself from the track. Oh my goodness, I don't think Adam Brown saw Christie going slowly. I don't know how you could miss it because it's a dark blue.
And you get yellow flags as well. There's no excuse for being that close.
Yeah, Adam just trying to use the slipstream, gain every 100 he can in advantage.
Car going that slow, it's just silly.
I'm giving him the
I know.
Really reaching here, Pete. Yeah, Adam nearly creates a safety car. Christie trundling around with a toasted clutch.
Stand by for virtual safety car.
And there we go, Pete.
Yes, so our second VSC.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. VSC.
Right, there we have it. That car stationary. Zdravko Deponiak going very slowly himself. That looked slower than pit lane speed, so yeah, we'll check on. I think Zdravko is just fine, but we'll double check on that just to be certain. Jonathan Palmer, race director, goes out in one of the
he's a long way away from that incident. We are going to be waiting a long time under VSC. It's a strange one to call a VSC. Anyway, Jimmy's gone in for a free pit stop by the looks of it. We'll have to rejoin at pit lane speed, essentially. But yeah, we're going to have a long wait here because that car not only has to be collected by an RB4 that is currently on the oval, but also has to be pushed back to pit lane. Gabor's coming up to the incident, but it won't be for another 10 or so, 15 or so seconds. But we're in for a wait here, but VSC has been called, and the race has been neutralized once again. The second VSC period in under 10 laps. So, Gabor is going to have to hope that his tires don't get too cold while this is happening, and so too will everyone else.
Yeah, I think we just had an awkward positioning of course cars there. So Jonathan Palmer was in the RB4 rescue car in the national circuit pit lane and just happened to be the closest one. So I've looked around and there were no other cars parked anywhere else, only two Well, 2 safety cars today, and then the 1 rescue car. Jonathan Palmer, we don't have it on stream. We have Jonathan Palmer. Jonathan Palmer giving it the beans all the way around. 4-wheel drift through a lot of these corners. JP wasting no time getting around to the stricken machine of Christie. So a little bit of fun for the rescue car driver, and for us watching.
He's gonna have to slow down.
One car going on Circuit quickly. Ooh, he's left it a little bit late. Hard on the brakes there. Professionally done. Yeah, full commitment on the brakes. Tucks in behind Christie, and now we get the push of shame. Christie fully in the throttle. That's not going to do you. That won't do. Yeah, that won't do anything for you, bud. You can sing as much as you like, but the car is not going any more quickly than that. And I don't think Jonathan Palmer wants to risk putting that BMW Sauber into the fence when he's meant to be recovering it.
Well, Gabor is going to take this opportunity to come into the pit lane. He pulls in and he's going to take the first pit box, and why not? He might as well. I don't know if Zdravko... Yeah, I think Zdravko may also take this opportunity. Gabor has replaced his tyres, he's put fuel in, and he's repaired damage. And Zdravko is...
Will he take track position? Interesting. Will he be able to take this position, though? They're going so slowly. They'll be running identical speed down the lane. Struff goes through. There he goes. And I think he didn't do it before the finish line. So he, though he is in the lead now, he will not be officially credited with having led a lap. So the Grand Chelem still on for Gabor. Zdravko, again, not officially leading this lap, though at the front of the order right now. Gabor
just sped.
A little quick.
He just sped. He took the pit lane speed limiter off. I heard the engine go up.
Well, he obviously...
he wasn't pinged for it by the ensign.
Yeah, so Pete, he won't have... That was legal exiting pit lane under normal circumstances. So you can come off the pit lane speed limiter as soon as you cross the line.
Green flag.
There we go, green flag. But he will have violated VSC speed limit.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what I was on about.
Yeah, Zdravko Duponiak in the lead now. We're getting a rules clarification in our ears. There's a debate between Mo and Pete that the rest of you cannot hear. There may be an awkward exception in pit lane with cars being allowed to go whatever speed they like while in the pit lane. So we'll look for some clarification to see if the VSC rule applies there or not. Either way, while we sort that out in the background, Zdravko Duponiak is in the lead of the race. They're trying to give it away. Nearly 4 wheels into the grass there. He doesn't want to do that.
There's no pit lane exception according to Jonathan Palmer. We've just had confirmation.
Yes,
so that needs to be reviewed.
It does indeed. Gabor, I don't think that will compromise Gabor's race. If they give him a drive-through penalty, he can almost certainly drive up and catch Zdravko Duponiak. That'll be an additional challenge for Gabor today if they do end up handing him a penalty. But here we go, the running order. 6 laps on the 6th lap right now. 5 laps completed. Zdravko Duponiak inherits the lead of the race when he chooses to take track position over Gabor, pitting to take tires and fuel. This man is in 4th place, having ceded 3rd to Magic, who is up the road about 15 seconds or so. David Godge in 5th, Adam Brown up to 6th from a pit lane start. That was 7th or 8th on the grid and became 6th when he span off on the formation lap. Martin's just behind him. Great debut event from him. This has been a theme, Peter. We have seen a lot of really strong debut drives for newcomers coming to grips with this very challenging machine in this series. And Martins is no exception. 7th position today ahead of Ayub El-Anouni. Pit lane start. 13th up to 8th. He was running as high as 5th and has fallen back. Not entirely sure why that is. Imran Azar was running up at the very front with Gabor, had taken the lead after an awkward VSC starting. Briefly took the lead and then speared off with a controller failure. Imran Azar 9th behind this man right here. Ayub, just heard he has fallen from 5th down to 8th after he took a pit stop. So all is well and normal for Ayub. Jimmy in 10th, Igor Santos started 3rd all the way down in 11th, and we've had 2 retirements. Christie, who we saw just a moment ago, being recovered after he toasted a clutch. And then Yassin Badal went the wrong way, as the server messages say. Made it between the barriers in an accident somewhere and was dismissed by the server. So only 11 of the 13 starters running right now as we follow the leader through. He will be beginning the 8th lap of asking in just a few seconds.
Yeah, important to note actually that Azar is still running. He's a lap down, but he's still in the race.
He is, and those are valuable points for MRC. Once again, there is a stiff competition for second position in the Drivers' Championship and in the Teams' Championship. Could go any way, Master Race Car, Fragmaster, or Born to Race, and all of these drivers equally talented in relatively close contention in the early running for this race. But as it stands right now, this man right here is in control of second position in the driver standings and in the team's championship. If he can stay between the lines, he will almost certainly give up first position to Gabor at some point in the race. But right now, in control, running good, consistent, quick laps. He looks like he is in the catbird seat to swipe P2 second best in the drivers and teams championship.
Yeah, and he's just set the fastest lap of the race, so he must be on lower fuel, presumably, than Gabor. So there's an opportunity here, definitely, for Zdravko. Gabor's already refueled, so he'll be heavy on fuel. So Zdravko needs to press home his advantage. Whether he can press home enough to get the jump on Gabor in the pit stop, well, that's a long shot. But this is a strategy game. This is what it's going to come down to. This is the best opportunity that he's got. Even though he will have essentially lost that cheap pit stop potentially due to the second VSC, he's opening up that gap. It's now over 3 seconds, so it just depends how long Zdravko can go.
Indeed, he was almost a second quicker on the previous lap, so I think you're probably right. He is certainly on lower fuel than Gabor. I mean, obviously, Gabor stopped and took a full load of fuel in his stop just a couple laps ago. But still, strong show from Zdravko. Takes a big bite of that curb. That's risky. We saw that pitch Adam off into the barrier and ruin a qualifying lap earlier on. This gap now up to 3.2 seconds. Zdravko running quicker than Gabor. Zdravko Deponiak in the 44s. Gabor in the 45s. A little bit quicker that lap. Zdravko only extended his advantage by about half a second. This driver in third place. Magic running about 20 seconds, 25 seconds or so behind Gabor. Great day for him. Haven't seen as much of him in the BF1 league. And Todd Gonzalez, relative newcomer to the series, new this year, has had a few really strong performances, a little bit further back in the midfield, but really strong today after everyone came together in the first corner. David Gaj, another semi-regular in this series, looking strong in fifth position. And here we look to our own teammate in the SBTV, my apologies, livery, Adam Brown, number 8 car. Strong from him, too, after coming out of pit lane. I think he'll be pretty happy with this. We give him a lot of guff for not finishing races, Pete, but he's about a quarter of the way through this one and looking pretty strong.
Yeah, strong as he goes very wide through the first hairpin, but generally quite a strong driver as he makes his way through the very, very, very fast and flowing first chicane. And almost loses the car. So, yeah, not the best couple of corners there from Adam, who currently occupies P6. But you're right, he had a pit lane start. He's in a direct fight really with Ayub, who's a few corners behind. Ayub has, however, done a pit stop already, so yes, advantage to Ayub at this point.
Ayub was out of the throttle really late there. The rear of the car almost got away from him into the concrete barrier there. That would have been massive damage on the rear of the car to add the little damage that adds up lap over lap as they sail over those curbs. David Gaj running strongly now, about 4 seconds back of Todd Gonzalez and appears to be catching, so I think we'll have a fight for fourth position. At the front, Zdravko Deponiak has gone through Igor Santos to put him I believe that'll be a second lap down, so terrible day for Igor Santos. I don't think he will be taking any points, or at least not very many. For his own Drivers' Championship effort. But Zdravko is through cleanly, nice and tidy over the curbs, and extending this gap over Gabor. So Zdravko Deponiak through the first split in 32 seconds, 0.1, a very respectable first split. So Zdravko Deponiak on pace and has extended this gap to almost 5.5 seconds over Gabor. Here we look to Adam Brown. Pete on the outside of David Gaj, about to take fifth position.
Yeah, Gaj had a poor lap the previous lap. Oh, that was so close. I can't believe they didn't come together. Adam was In fact, I think there was a little bit of contact at basically top speed there into the brakes through turn one. That could have been both of them out. That was a misjudgment, I think, from Adam, actually, cutting back. We've got a car stopped on track again. Is managing to get it going, but needs to be careful how to rejoin here. He's just into the final sector, loops the car again. Needs to be careful how to rejoin here, and looks to be on his way. But Magic's on his way.
The car looks clean. I think he had a slow spin off the circuit there and managed to stay out of the barrier. Looks like the rear, one of the wing end plates might be a little bit bent, but the suspension looks fine. Notably, those rear tires are cooked, so the pressures are not where they should be, and the surfaces are a bit toasty. So I think Jimmy's gotten the setup a bit wrong, or perhaps with a lack of practice, has not quite driven one of these setups shared with him to its maximum potential. Looking for him to come into pit lane now. He does. So Jimmy off, back on into pit lane as we watch Strafka Deponiak in charge. That gap now almost 7 seconds. So very strong from him. He has to be. Oh, he has indeed.
Yeah, he's been off at turn 9, and he's got damage. So what's that been caused by? Abe's got damage. That's going to be a bummer on his afternoon. He's really struggling to control the car. He's got a lot of damage on that car, Travis.
Yeah, and the tires are ruined. So wherever he's gone off, I think he has either done a big spin or he was already struggling with high temperatures, and that caused the spin. Either way, all four corners of this car in pretty rough shape. They'll pick up damage over time with these cars flying over the curbs out of the through the chicane coming from the GP circuit and onto the oval. But he's got a little bit more than everyone else is carrying. On board with Strafka Deponiak, catching with a back marker right now. That's Imran Azar ahead of him. So a shame for Imran Azar, who was looking so strong early, set that blinder of a qualifying lap to snatch P2 from Igor Santos, who has likewise gone backward. So Imran Azar, I don't think he'll give Strafka Deponiak too much trouble here, but frustrating day for him. Yep, he moves to the side, neatly off to the left side of the circuit. Lets Strafka through, and Strafka runs ahead unimpeded, 7.4 seconds ahead of Gabor.
Yeah,
he has to be on very low fuel.
Yeah, well, or Gabor has put lots in. It makes a huge difference the amount of fuel you put into this, but yes. Oh, Magic's been off as well. We were having casualties everywhere. Magic's been off in the sweepers. That's just at the beginning of the third sector, and he's got a lot of damage. That was a big hit. Yeah, look at the rear left there. Huge.
Yeah, the rear left and the rear right end plate. Yes, so he has gone backward and hit both corners very hard. Slazy spin there. Yeah, that was entirely expected with the state of the camber and the toe on that left rear. This is built like an Indy car now. It wants to turn left. So Magic was having a brilliant day. Ooh, he's sending it around really hard with a car that is in really poor condition there. He's off the throttle now. Strafka Deponiak might catch him soon. Magic has spun again into the grass. Yeah, we should pick him up because I think the leaders are going to be coming through. Strafka Deponiak should go sailing past him. Perhaps already has. I think Magic is approaching the final corners.
Here he comes.
He is.
Here he comes.
So Magic, stays well out of the way.
Sorry.
Those cars look the same at a distance. My apologies. Yeah. So Magic now moving to the right side of the circuit. The leaders will be coming through shortly, but I think he'll be safely out of the way.
Adam and Gonzalez are also in a fight, so everything's going off, and Adam's trying to go around the outside at Spoon. What a move!
Ooh, that's a bold move.
Yeah, but he cut straight into Gonzalez's slipstream there, and that could have been disastrous. Brave around the outside. Adam running on R4s as well to pull off that move. So Gonzalez.
Pete. Magic has missed the pit lane entry. Oh no, he's just gotten the pit lane entry. He span on the way in, and my camera angle, I thought he had gone past the pit wall, but he was just alongside it. Does get the car in, so Magic now safely out of the way. Third position, all the way down to the very back. Igor Santos is the only driver now behind Magic. Imran Azar and Ayub El-Anouni have gone ahead. Ayub El-Anouni up to 6th now after his earlier pit stop and a spin just a moment ago. Gabor almost 10 seconds back now, Pete. Stravko is flying.
Yeah, I really wonder how much fuel Stravko put in that car at the beginning of the race, because this gap is opening up by a considerable amount. 10 seconds. I mean, I know that a pit stop's pretty long, but it's been what, 6 laps, and well, yeah, the gap speaks for itself. It was less than a second-ish, 2 seconds maybe maximum, and now it's gone up another 8 seconds. So, yeah, he's going to continue stretching that, and we will see what develops when Zdravko comes into the pit lane. But, it was curious why he didn't come into the pit lane for the cheap pit stop. Maybe, he was just so confident that it was going to work out. Maybe it will.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I have an interesting thought. We're not supposed to play favorites in the commentary box, but we do like seeing things shaken up a little bit. And Zdravko is such a good friend of ours and teammate in the commentary box often. If I were Zdravko and I had a full load of fuel and tires in good health, I would absolutely take track position myself. I wonder if Zdravko has just found the inspiration and the pace. If he had a pretty good load of fuel, like there's no reason to come in when you can take track position if you think you have the pace. So Zdravko has already run fairly long for the pace that he's been setting. I don't think we expected him to be this quick, but he's getting quicker every lap. He's running consistently. I think there's a couple laps left in the tank at least, and he's gone so strongly. We know that Gabor is certainly carrying more fuel because he has stopped and Zdravko is not. But I think Zdravko has fallen into a very strong strategy, and he's come to grips with the car. He's just having a good day, and he's running it as long as he can.
Yeah, time will tell. The gap has somewhat neutralized itself. It hasn't gone over the 10-second barrier. There we go. It's just gone over it as I said that. But we're currently watching on screen Ted Gonzalez, the number 24 car, being caught by David Godge in the number 4. Hand over fist. Godge is not quite there yet. He's not in the slipstream either. But through the sweeps, he gained a massive amount as we head down through the first chicane. Tricky corners these, and it looks like David has got things a little bit more hooked up as we're going to fly through the second chicane now, and back onto the oval. Let's see. Yeah, David gets a nice exit, and he's going to catch Gonzalez in the slipstream. Is he even? Not quite there. But almost certainly will be on the back of him through the sweepers again. He was mighty quick on the last lap tries.
Yeah, I don't think Gonzalez has to live through another nightmare of someone sweeping by him on the outside here, but David Godge is coming in a hurry. An inspired performance by Gonzalez to run at the front of the order, usually a bit further down. Very strong debut performances by Gonzalez. He's been in the running for the entire race, just not this far up the grid. And though he's had one little off, we saw him as he was rejoining earlier, had a lazy spin somewhere because that car is in pretty good condition. We don't think he hit anything terribly badly. Running very well, but he is about to become David Godge's next victim. I don't know that he's going to last another lap. Goes a little bit wide on the entry of the corner there, whereas David Godge, nice and tidy all the way down to the curbing, and then nice power on the way out. It's a good day for Todd Gonzalez, but I think he's going to give up 4th position in just a few seconds.
We will see. It looks like he's got everything in hand for the home straight. Yes, he has. He's got a nice exit there. I don't think David is going to be on him by the time we enter the next lap. In fact, Gonzalez taking a much tighter line there to pretty much ensure that what I just said happens. But yeah, as we head on to lap 15 for these guys, it's looking pretty good.
It is, and looking good once again for Zdravko Toponiak in the lead. That gap now 11.2 seconds. So the fuel is coming off for Gabor, yet Zdravko still quicker. Zdravko coming through the final corners now. He'll be starting his 16th lap in just a few moments. As we continue to watch this battle for 4th position, Todd Gonzalez now well and truly in the slipstream, coming around oval turn 1 here. I don't think he's close enough. No, he's not close enough to tighten up right behind Todd Gonzalez through this corner, though Todd Gonzalez takes the very wide entry. I think the rear of the car may have stepped away from him on the way in. He ended up driving through the middle of the corner pretty much all the way around. Ooh, a little bit of a lift from Gonzalez there. That corner is all confidence, and if the car doesn't feel perfect, it is very difficult to feel like you can put the hammer all the way down through that corner. Same here, full throttle, maybe a little bit of a lift in race conditions coming down the hill, and then breathing the throttle on the brakes through that left-hander. Gonzalez now mirrors full of David Godge. David Godge right there. Great exit on the way out of the corner. These two will be side by side through these sweeping bends. It's really difficult to sight the entry of these corners, and even more difficult to do it when you're running side by side. David Godge, experienced driver, thinks better of going side by side into this corner. He'll want to get a good run on the exit here. Avoids the grass, but another great exit from Gonzalez. He's made a very strong defense of this fourth position.
He has an interesting choice to back out. I don't know, erring on the side of caution, maybe, seeing all of the drama that's going on. He's had his own fair share of drama this race as well as David, so just biding his time. He knows that there's no immediate rush. He's going to get a good haul of points, a good finishing position if he can get past Gonzalez and maybe think about turning the screws on Adam Brown. We know how hard Adam's been pushing, and he's only 10 seconds up the road from these guys, not far at all. But again, on the oval, he's dropped back a bit from Ted. So,
ooh, sorry, Pete. Zdravko Topuniak just went way wide in the final corner, full sail into the grass, kept his foot in it, and came back on without losing too much time. It appears he's even extended the gap slightly on Gabor. So heart-stopping moment from Zdravko. That could have ended in tears very quickly. But he gathers the car up, continues back onto the racing surface, starts lap 17. He does give up half a second there, though, so I dare say that will have gotten his attention.
Yes, but it's almost a 13-second gap now, so it's going up and up and up, but he can't have too many more laps of fuel left. The tank isn't infinitely sized as Gabor heads on to the oval for the 17th time of asking. The gap to P1 there you can see is 12.29 seconds. Gabor has already pitted for fuel, he's changed his tyres, and he's repaired a bit of damage, so he's still definitely got the advantage. So Zdravko will not be able to get into pit lane, do all of that work, and then get out and still maintain the lead, not by a long shot.
So, Pete, I have a thought. We don't have Tom with us here today. Once again, he is enjoying the 24 Hours of Le Mans on site in France. So, a nice vacation for Tom. Wishing him the best in the north of France this evening. We don't have Tom here for his bold predictions, so you instead get my dubious propositions. I think Gabor perhaps might be saving the car so that he doesn't have to take as much time repairing. If he can repair once and go the race distance, then he will be in better shape than Zdravko, who has done a number on the left rear. That's a pun intended there.
That was a good pun.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I enjoyed that.
He's done some damage to the left rear of that car, sailing over the chicane curbs coming back onto the national circuit. So I wonder if he might be taking more repairs than Gabor when he comes into pit lane. We've missed David Godge going by Todd Gonzalez. We were enjoying this fight before we got away to look at the leaders, and now David Godge is through. He's got about a 1 second advantage over Gonzalez. We believed that was more or less inevitable. Gonzalez was able to defend that position for a few laps, and now David Godge through into fourth position. So nice showing from him. He'll be very pleased with that. And he is off in pursuit of Adam Brown, who is running a very convincing third position. There, race control message. Cars 10, that is Igor Santos. 23. The 23 is retired, so that won't make one bit of difference to us. I believe that is Christie is the 23 car. And 25, Ayub El-Nouni, VSC infractions. So no notes for VSC infraction for the number 1 car, Gabor. We were looking for that.
Hang on. There's another set of them for the second VSC. There you go.
Oh, sorry, Pete. I have to interrupt. Zdravko Topuniak and Imran Azar nearly came together. I think they had contact. Zdravko Topuniak has come together with Imran Azar. Gabor is through into the lead, and Zdravko Topuniak, lazy spin. He's gone backward. Oh,
Zdravko's got damage. Yeah, his shock is completely gone. He's got to be so careful. So you were right. Gabor repaired the damage probably preemptively, and Zdravko's managed to clip a curb or something and has given himself probably race or victory ending damage.
Perhaps.
We've got a bunch more cars with VSC 2 infringements, but we need to focus on this for now.
The only car in contention that does not have a VSC infringement investigation looming over him is this man right here, Zdravko Toponiak. But he has to tiptoe this car back to pit lane and repair this damage. So Zdravko, who was in control, had a 12, almost 13-second lead, has completely unraveled. We've seen this so many times from Zdravko. He runs so well. He's inspired. He hit the sausage curb at the chicane, just took too much. You talked about that early on, Pete. If you get too greedy, it can end suddenly, and it has. Zdravko Toponiak into pit lane. Adam Brown will now take second position. Adam Brown, I don't believe Adam Brown was one of the cars under investigation. So Adam Brown ahead of Zdravko Toponiak. Now Adam Brown, I think that gap is too big even with the penalty, but Adam Brown in second position, looking for the silver medal in the final round of the BF1 League.
Yeah, Adam hasn't pitted yet either, so the gap at the front has now gone up to an unbelievable amount. It's going to be almost a minute that Gabor has pulled over the rest of the field, which is unbelievable. 40 rough seconds at the moment. He's already in the final sector of the lap again. And Zdravko, well, he's only just coming out of pits. That's enormous, Travis, the gap.
Yeah, he'll be gutted. That gap is huge. He was stationary for so long to take repairs. Adam has swiped second position away from him while he was stationary. Navigaj is into the pits and now out again. I believe that was fourth position, now demoted to sixth after other cars go by. Makes that chicane a straight line. I don't know if that's entirely legal. Ooh, and he's touched the pit exit line. So David Gaj may have given away some of his hard work there as we watch Gabor come through the first chicane, promoted to the lead 1 lap ago. And he's caused a yellow flag there. So that was David Gaj had caused a yellow flag there as Gabor goes flying by. That will have gotten his attention. The new leader of the race suddenly with back markers looming on the fringes of the circuit. While all that happened, this is how this series goes, Pete. We mind our own business. The order shakes out a little bit. We're kind of observing and predicting, and then a whole bunch happens at once. While all of that happened, Ayub up to fourth position.
Yeah, it's like yo-yoing out there. And talking of predictions, well, it's time to announce today's Driver of the Day poll. It is live at simbroadcasts.tv/DOTD. We recommend that you hold off casting your vote until later on in the race, because this series, Travis, has just become so unpredictable this year that things change in a heartbeat. So we're just letting you know that there is a link available to vote for your Driver of the Day. But we're going to err on the side of caution and recommend that you wait a little bit before deciding to cast your vote. We absolutely want you to vote, so please head over to the link and get ready. But give it a while before you go ahead and cast your vote on today's Driver of the Day. Yes, Travis, this is going to be. We're not out of this yet. We're only just approaching halfway.
It is. I'll echo that sentiment. Gabor about to cross the line to start the second half of the race in just a few seconds. He streaks by pit entry and will cross the line now to begin the 21st lap of this round 5, the final race of the 2023 BF1 League season. That D in DOTD could yet become dud of the day. Gabor and everyone else but Adam Brown as Zdravko Toponiak under investigation for VSC infringements. So,
but it depends how severe those VSC infringements are, Travis, because Adam hasn't got one.
Yeah, Gabor has a lot of time in hand, and you could see as he flies through that joke of a chicane that he stays well and truly clear of the sausage curbs. So Gabor taking great care of this equipment. Zdravko was looking so good just a few laps ago. So about that, Pete, take it away.
Yeah, so I've jinxed Adam, or rather Adam's ruined his race for himself. He's managed to get a drive-through penalty on entry to the pit lane, so he's given himself a penalty because he felt bad that he didn't get one for VSC infringements.
So I believe that will... Pardon me, I believe that will only be Zdravko Toponiak, the sole driver yet to receive a penalty for anything. Apart from the broken shock, he gave himself a time penalty in spirit by breaking the car, pulling a Samir, and having to stay still much longer than he would have liked. He is promoted to second on the back of Adam Brown's pit stop, which will become a drive-through penalty on his next time through, or, well, he'll have to serve that within 3 laps, so it won't be long. Adam will go even further backward. Might fall all the way back to Todd Gonzalez. We're waiting for the timing to shake out. There's Zdravko, has a heart-stopping moment wide through the chicane there. Has to back out of the throttle and avoid the concrete wall. Yeah, Zdravko concentrating, committed, driving so well in the early running, and then one tiny mistake, and it all comes undone. Hands the lead back to this man, the machine, the artiste, the maestro, Gabor, the Hungarian sensation, through the chicane once more. This man is unstoppable, Peter.
Yeah, well, don't you jinx it as well. I know there's very little chance of it happening, but he's over 1 minute 20 seconds ahead on the road, on merit, ahead of anybody else today, and we've only done 21 laps of the race as he sends the BF1 into Spoon Curve. He has been the undeniable master of the 3rd season of MRC's BF1 League. I don't like inflating his ego, but on this occasion, he absolutely deserves everything at this point, because this is an absolute masterclass. There is absolutely nobody else that is even anywhere near. He's in a league of his own, and some. And yeah, incredible stuff.
Well, I think we need to strategize a little bit with honey on our forked commentator tongues to try to tease him into the commentary box at the conclusion of this event. This man famously reticent to join the commentary box for interviews after these events have concluded, but there's a rumor going around. I believe you started this rumor a couple days ago, Pete, so hardly a rumor, that perhaps he might be willing to join as the consecutive champion of the BF1 League. Perhaps he might be willing to join and have a few words with us today.
Well, he said he might, so we can hope. We've got confirmation that no further action will be taken on cars 10, 35. Car 23 will have a decision made after the race, as we've got Adam leaving the pit lane after his drive-through penalty has been served. And he will rejoin in P, what's that, 6?
Yeah, so in about as many minutes has gone from 2nd position and down to 6th, so he'll be kicking himself for that. Yeah, Magic in the pits now, was running as high as 3rd earlier and then had a big off himself. Recall the left rear of that car pointed very much the wrong direction, the toe and the camber all wrong. Built for turning left. He would have been right at home on the oval, but unfortunately having to turn right today. Magic, hearing that he's changed the setup somewhat as well, so that will hold him stationary even longer. As we look once again, this purple machine. Lots of screen time for this man and Team Sidus, Pete.
Yeah, well deserved. We don't often see the leader of a race that often because they tend to be forgotten amongst the drama that goes on elsewhere. We need to drag Rick Rashitska into the commentary box because he has the results of the competition for the drivers who have attended well this round. The obviously we're not counting the non-championship race 3, but rounds 1, 2, 4, and 5. The drivers who have attended, of which we have 4, I believe. Rick, you're here to talk about it.
Hello, welcome.
And the winner of the draw for €10 for driving every round this year is car 25, Ayub Elanouni.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much, Rick. He only just made it, actually, didn't he, on the start of this race? But there you go. You've got to be in it to win it. Anyway, Ricky will join us again at the end of the race. Thank you very much for that, Rick. Any words you want to say as at the halfway stage here?
It's a nice race for the moment.
Yeah, just about. We'll catch up with you at the end. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, bye-bye.
See you later.
Thank you, Ricky.
Abe wins. Yeah.
Yeah, lucky break for him. He's showed up at the last moment, not participating in qualifying and not eligible to take the grid. Pit lane start up to P3 and not far behind Zdravko. I think this could go anyone's way, and we need to check with Mo in the background. Mo crunching the numbers and kind of a painful job during this race because he's had to do recalculations every lap. Lots of excitement. Cars in the pits, cars in the grass, cars backward. Nobody upside down yet, but it's not too late. Only about halfway through. Now. Yeah, I have said it now. Mo in the background crunching the numbers to check the championship standings as they run, and it's close between Zdravko Deponiak and Ayub Elanuni. Ayub only needs 1 point. Well, he had only needed 1 point, I think, to take the team's championship, but his competitor, his rival, is on circuit. So still anyone's race for second place in the teams and drivers championship. Zdravko Deponiak in control at the moment, but there's a lot left to play for and a lot of time left. 15 laps is a long time in this race, better than the better part of half an hour. As we look, Pete, at Gabor, stationary for his second and what I believe will be his final stop.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised to see him in again. He's already rolling. Zdravko's only just gone off the oval, so that is the advantage at the moment. And we know, or we think, that Zdravko will have to come in again. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. Yeah, Gabor is going to come out comfortably in the lead of anybody as he does. Oh, he's hit the wall!
Oh, that's a big hit,
Oh, I
Pete.
spoke too soon there. That's a big hit. That's going to compromise him.
That's a huge hit.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage now on the front left. I absolutely compromised that.
So he's still in. I think he will still be in the lead position whether he stops
it's
or
a
not.
lot of damage.
Well, he has enough time in hand.
Oh my!
Well, he has enough time in hand. Ooh, that car not handling well. You saw that huge slide coming through the chicane. Yeah, the left front is almost completely broken on that
You
car.
can see it's
He
off
has
axis.
Yeah, he has plenty of time in hand over Zdravko because Zdravko has yet to make his tire change, and he will be compromised on R4. So Zdravko will add another 40 seconds to that gap. He will go down a lap. But Ayub, I believe Ayub has made two. We'll check on this. I know he has changed tire compounds. He may have made 2 stops already. Oh, no, he is not. Ayub in now. So
Yeah, did you
Ayub
see how
going to go
much
a lap.
damage just got repaired on that front left?
Yeah, Ayub, I don't think will go a lap down because Gabor is still coming through the Esses. But that car badly compromised.
Yeah.
I don't think he will need to stop. He has enough time in hand, but a car in that condition makes it so much more tentative to drive. That's a mistake waiting to happen, Pete. When the car isn't right, and we know Gabor pushes no matter what, he never backs off. He could afford to coast, but we know he'll keep pushing this car just to challenge himself for his own amusement.
No, he's coming
this is
in.
where it can go wrong. He's coming in to repair. Yeah, he'll
He
fix
has
the
to do
car. Yeah, fix the car, put any concerns behind him, and continue like nothing happened.
Well, now we've got a race on our hands.
Yeah, I'm still
my.
skeptical that we do because Strelko has to stop once more to change compound. But heart in the throat moment for Gabor. That's how easily it can get away.
Yeah, Gabor has so much time. He's in the chat as well. So there we go. Just to show you that the guy has capacity left. So Zdravko is out of the final corner and Gabor is already rolling. Gabor has managed to do not one,
So Strelko's gone by.
but 2 pit
Strelko,
stops.
oh no, he's not. That was another car coming through. So Strelko will be right behind Gabor. There we go.
Actually, he's going to be ahead of him.
Oh,
as
he has
goes
gone
into the
by. There we
chicane.
go. He's just gone through.
So yeah, but Gabor did 2 pit stops, and Zdravko still has to do 1.
Yeah, this is where Strelko will be kicking himself, and we both feel very badly for him because were it not for that earlier mistake, he would still be in control of this race. I mean, he would certainly be further ahead here. He had 13 seconds in hand when he broke the car, and we certainly no reason to believe that he wouldn't have the better part of that gap ahead of Gabor now if he had not taken all of that time to repair damage when he stopped earlier. But still 14 laps left in this race. 1 wheel in the grass is all it takes to end the race, or at least end any hope of competing for a strong finish. And Strelko has to make 1 more stop. Gabor is, we've seen, he is not infallible. He gave away the race win in the first round, and he's been off just a few moments ago. So never say die. Strelko could yet pull off a P1 if Gabor falls by the wayside again. And even so, I think he is he's definitely on for second position here if he can just stay between the lines.
Yeah, Gabor's allowed to do that once. He can't do that again, or else it's game over for him. He has to keep it on the road now. No more funny business. No more Mr. Wise Guy. He's got to be as sharp as possible. Zdravko's coming up against the back marker. I believe that is
It's
that
David
Dodge? Yes, it is. As we head through the first chicane, David should get out of the way nice and easily. Yep,
He
fades
does.
to the left.
And watching Zdravko's splits and lap times, Zdravko is full send. Notably, Gabor is too. He doesn't have to do this. I mean, we've said this many times, and it probably sounds at this point it sounds like we're admonishing him. He's free to do whatever he wants. He is a grown adult and a hell of a driver, but he doesn't have to do this. Statement of fact, it is completely unnecessary. But Gabor full send 100% of the time. And today is no exception. Oh, Zdravko's just slowed. I didn't see why he slowed. It looked like he slowed in the middle of the corner. He may have put a wheel off on entry. Has he broken the car again?
Oh, I mean, he did take an enormous amount of curb at the Boothie chicane, but it wasn't enough. He's fine. He's just made some error somewhere. Maybe he had a wobble. Oh, he's wobbling around a lot. What's going on?
Yeah, the toe on the rear is a little bit off, and he has a lot of suspension damage on one corner. So the car, he had to. He had no choice but to just send the car into every corner. Maximum commitment to try to salvage a hope, a prayer of P1. And now he's made a slight mistake. Gabor is through and back into the lead. I saw both of them their last trip through the non-Boothie chicane, if you will. Took a big chunk of the sausage curbs, and he's in. Well, he was compelled to. He has to stop and take the other tire compound. He has to switch, so this will be his final stop. Now we watch for Todd Gonzalez. Todd Gonzalez is back up to third position, and as we said that,
yeah,
well.
Yeah, just a bit of a yes. Todd Gonzalez. You didn't see the last 2 seconds of footage we just played. He's doing well in
a
P3.
convincing third position.
Yes, absolutely. Azar's beached the car. Everything's going off, Travis. We're going to get another VSC at the very least here. He's properly stuck as well.
I got yelled at 15 years ago. I was properly scolded by Jonathan Palmer for my opinions on the safety car proceedings in the Kyoto 500, and I'm going to do it again. No
safety
regrets.
Car boards and flags.
Safety
car boards and flags. Car in the gravel in the first corner.
And I've gotten one. No shame. I have no shame at all whatsoever about shouting over the director. Peter, we've gotten well, I don't know if anyone else wanted this. Zdravko to Pontiac. If nobody else did, definitely wanted this.
Yeah.
Now we have a finale on our hands.
Yeah, Todd Gonzalez has taken this opportunity to pit. That's smart. That's a very good call. Very quickly in. Adam also coming into the pit lane. Gabor is going to pick up the safety cars. Zdravko is an absolute country mile behind, and that gap is going to go back down to 0.
So let's talk about
look at the tire strategy.
People. Yeah, let's talk about people who have kicked themselves today. I think perhaps all of them at this point. Tom Jones, if you're out there, if you're listening, or when you watch the VOD, you've missed a classic. We got a gift of a safety car in the closing lap after everyone has done their part to give away the lead. Nobody wants to win this race, Peter. That's what I've concluded. Safety car neutralizes the field. And we'll have Zdravko Pontiac right behind his championship rival, Gabor, who is already locked up a second driver's championship. We'll have Zdravko Pontiac right behind his main rival, friend, competitor, Gabor, for the final 10 laps of this race. By the time we finally get the safety car into the pits and we've turned these drivers loose once again.
Well, if you wanted drama, you got it here. We were unsure whether it was going to come, but a late, I'm going to call it late, beaching from Imran Azar, of all people, one of the drivers who's been more consistent than most this season, I think it's fair to say. He has gone into the gravel in the first sector and has forced a safety car situation, not worth putting the VSC out. Stuart Baker therefore gets his first time at the wheel of the NDR MRC FZ5 V8, I believe. I'm going to confirm that with Chris. Yeah, it's got a V8, and a fabulous thing it is. He gets to drive this one final time in 2023.
So Todd Gonzalez has been instructed to go around past the leader and the safety car, so he will be through. And then I believe Adam Brown should also be allowed through.
Well,
if they
Todd
called
Gonzalez
that, then I missed it.
He's almost allowed. He's gone through, right? Todd Gonzalez?
He hasn't yet. Yeah, so Todd Gonzalez, you can see him there. The green machine still driving around behind
that
the
is
door.
magic.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. That is magic.
Todd's
yeah,
through,
so
I think.
Gonzalez has already gone through.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I believe these two, I would be surprised if they're not instructed to go through as well, but we'll wait for the call there. Zdravko Ponyak is pushing like a hell. If you enjoy the F1 memes, to catch up to the pack here, still has some distance to go. He was so far on. He was a minute behind on the last trip through a timing loop. So some distance to cover yet before he catches up to the train. Imran Azar there with the rescue car alongside.
So we're going to get one more lap, I think, of safety car, which means...
Sorry, Peter. Zdravko has gone off, pushing unnecessarily hard.
Well,
he's
he can get into trouble for going off under the safety car.
Yeah, you really can. Well, and he's done it at a place where it's really easy to end up stuck. So that would be, the final embarrassment would be going off under a true gift of a safety car to then beat your own. But he's had a touch of the barriers. He's gone again.
Travis,
Bo guessed in our ears that perhaps he was trying to tight because he had missed a gear coming down the hill. So there we go. The order by cars 26 and car 8 to overtake the safety car. The stricken car of Imran Azar is now free and running once again. The course car away as well. So I believe we could have... I don't know that we'll have safety car in this lap because we have more cars being instructed to overtake. That is Ayub going... I believe that was Ayub. That may have been Igor Santos going through. I think I've mistaken deliveries there. Zdravko now stuck behind Imran Azar, who will need to be sent around the safety car. So, not many cars on track.
Imran's going far too slowly compared to the rest of the cars. So this is going to hurt Zdravko. The cars are already going into the final sector.
So
in a corner's time.
I'm not sure that it will, Pete. So the way this has worked for Zdravko is. He was running a high pace, I think, to keep some heat in the tires. Stewart nearly losing. Everyone has been off today, Pete. The officials are no exception. Zdravko is going slowly. Well, he's going Imran Azar's pace, who is apparently in no hurry to catch and pass the safety car. He will be instructed to go through. Zdravko is running the engine right at the red line.
What's Imran done?
Imran has led him through. Yeah, so Imran let him pass, which is a little awkward because Imran will be instructed to go by once again.
Well, Imran's going to the pits, I imagine. There's no other reason why he'd be going so slowly. He's got a right rear shock out, so that's just damage that he's going to have to repair. He won't have time to go through the safety car. Whether the safety car knows that, I don't know, because it looks like we might end up with one extra lap. Of course, we do need some cars to be behind the safety car before we restart. We've only got one currently.
And this train is still the better part of half the circuit, 2/3 of the circuit long. The leaders are coming through the final corners now behind the safety car. Stuart Baker has only picked up Gabor and Zdravko Ponyak. Ayub is a mile behind them. And cars, we still have cars coming through the national circuit and back through the spoon curve. So it will be a lap before they catch. Stuart Baker has set a personal best in the safety car. That with a brief excursion into the grass. So no complaints from the drivers about the safety car pace today. He's giving it all he's got. Ayub has now caught the pack, so we have the top 3 behind Stuart Baker now, but a lot of time yet. We have one driver coming into the SS now. and starting the final 3 cars starting the final sector. So we could perhaps get the safety car in this lap, but it's going to be close. Driver of the day poll, Struvko, has a proper 2/3 of the votes ahead of his chief rival Gabor. But that I wonder I wonder if our voters have shot their shot a little bit early, Pete.
Well, Zdravsko's been given a chance here, and just as well that we advise people to wait because we're going to have a final quarter of this race. It's going to be a showdown, I think. We've got an interesting choice of tyres at the front. We've got our leader, Gabor, running R3s, and Zdravko running the R4 compound, which is theoretically slower. He's going to have massive trouble against Ayub, who stands a pretty good chance here of getting a P2 potentially.
He does, and we need to review the championship standings implications too, because Struvko and Ayub are fighting for second position in the driver's title in the team's championship. So we will look at the figures in the background and see how this is shaking out as they run. No indication that Stuart Baker will bring the safety car into pit lane yet, so we may have one more lap under safety car. Several cars still snaking around, about a full third, an entire sector behind these two. So
yeah, this just shows you how much of a lead that Gabor had. This is been crazy. The race direction are waiting. We have confirmation, so I believe we are going to have one more lap behind the safety car, and that's going to be devastating for Gabor. Absolutely, he's lost a huge advantage here.
Well, I think mano a mano, head-to-head, he is still stronger than either of his rivals behind him, Struvko or Ayub. Car 5 being instructed to overtake the safety car queue. That is Imran Azar, who began this entire safety car procession. I'd be surprised if they wait for him to go all the way around to the tail end of the pack.
They're not going to wait.
Yeah, they won't. And they're not, I don't think they're going to wait for Todd Gonzalez either. So safety car, sorry, I misspoke there. They're waiting for Todd Gonzalez because he was the on the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, but he's just arrived and it's just gone over start finish. So we've got another 2.5 laps around before we can get going. So this should be the final race. The final lap under the safety car through this period. And we've got a car off. It's inexcusable.
Oh no! So, well, fortunately, now that they've caught everyone, they can get him out of the barrier. He's gone into the barrier very hard. The back of that car is badly damaged.
Well, JP is going to be furious at this because a car has gone off during the final lap of the safety car. JP will be on all cylinders trying to get this car out so that we can go back to green flag racing. Santos, that is unacceptable.
It is indeed. Terrible showing from Igor Santos. No blame, statement of fact. He started, looked like it was going to be second position, and then Imran Azar just pipped him at the close of qualifying to start alongside Gabor. And now Igor Santos went to the very back in just a few corners on the first lap, and now running around at the tail end of the grid and beached in a very precarious position. Don't know if there's a course car coming around to recover. And there's Jonathan Palmer has come around. I think Igor's going to get the punt of shame on the nose of the car to back him out. He is indeed an indignant whack from
he's got to be
Jonathan
quick
Palmer,
and he can't afford to be because that car is absolutely battered. JP will try to recover that car as quickly as he can, and Santos is having even more trouble. We're going to have another lap of safety car here.
Yeah.
I cannot believe this.
Yeah, this is terrible from Igor Santos. I think at this point they'll wait for the safety car queue to pass because they're just a couple corners behind. I'm surprised we haven't seen an instruction for all of these drivers to take care around the stricken machine of Igor Santos.
JP's been so busy recovering cars, he hasn't had a chance. He's going to be so angry. I don't blame him either. Santos has actually made it to the final corner. Goodness knows where JP's gone to. Yeah, he's still training as well. But chaos here. And we are going to go for another lap, I think, unless JP manages to just... We've got to go for another lap.
We do indeed. That's okay. It gives us time to discuss, and I don't know, cross our fingers that we don't have another driver pirouetting off into the sand. There you have it. The safety car still on circuit. Igor Santos safely out of the way in pit lane. One more lap under the safety car. Hopefully not another one. We appealed to get one, and now this has gone on a little bit long for our liking. Certainly the driver's liking. Gabor will be sick and wanting to be turned loose. Safety car in this lap. There you can see on the yellow badge on the stream. Imran Azar is close enough. He should be able to catch up at the tail end of the line, barring any further mistakes. We will be racing once again in a couple minutes. I wanted to mention, Elmo said this in our ears the better part of 10 minutes ago now, that Stromko was trying to burn off fuel. He was running the revs all the way up on the limiter when he had caught Imran Azar and was forced to slow down while Imran slowly drove up to the back of the safety car queue. So Stromko wants to take as much fuel out as he can. He'll be compromised on R4s. They will be stone cold running around this pace behind the safety car, and he'll have this train behind him on R3s. The only exception, Adam Brown on R4s. Stromko he had his prayer answered for a safety car to be given a chance to compete directly with Gabor, but I think he is perhaps in the worst position of all of these drivers, Pete.
Well, I would absolutely tend to agree with you there, because look at behind him. He's got El Hanouni on R3s, Gonzalez on R3s. Adam, likewise, also under threat from losing out on P5 from David Godge as well. So this is going to be a grandstand finish, and well, we're here to enjoy it. But finally, it looks like we are going to get back to green. No, just as I say that, Zdravko loses the car, but he's going to be able to get it back on the road. But he's going to be at the back. Unbelievable scenes. What is going on here, Travis?
Well, yeah, so this, I was about to mention that for him, this is just nearly impossible to manage. If you look at the tire temperatures in the tire view in the client, they are stone cold. They are those in the chat familiar with the game will know that the colors range from black through dark blue to blue and then green and then red for the hottest temperatures, and his tires were black, not even the navy blue. They were properly black, no temperature in them at all, and it's like driving on ice when you have no temperature in the R4s. They don't offer that much mechanical grip, a huge grip disadvantage over the R3s anyway. And when they get that cold, they're just impossible to drive. So, Stromko has it all to do now. He has damage on the left front after touching the wall, but Gabor will lead the field away. Ayub El-Hanouni now in position to swipe valuable points off Stromko Duponiak. Gabor is away. Safety car is in.
Green flag.
Green flag for Gabor. Todd Gonzalez on the right looks outside of Ayub El-Hanouni on the restart. Gonzalez through past Ayub El-Hanouni briefly, then backs out as they go into the first corner. Ayub, Gabor's challenger here. We know Ayub has pace to challenge Gabor. We've seen him do it in the past. He has won races in this series, and he is right under the diffuser of Gabor.
Yeah, we're going to follow him here. Let's see what Ayub can do. The dark horse of this race potentially coming out of the stable. And it's good. They go so far over that curb, taking all the chances there as Gabor then is allowed to streak into the distance, and potentially that's Ayub's chance over. It really is as cutthroat as that, but we'll keep with him as we head through Spoon for the first time since the restart. We have 7 laps to the end of this race. It's going to be a showdown between Gabor and Ayub. What can Ayub do?
At this point, it is maximum send from Ayub. Gabor has nothing to lose. He can win or he can go home. It doesn't make one bit of difference to him because he is the champion. But Ayub would dearly love to take another win in this series. The final round of the 2023 season put his stamp on the MRC BF1 League as we take another vacation from this competition. Ayub, maximum commitment, driving the car as hard as he can through these corners, all the way up on the curbing. Ayub has pinned it in the background and has been hit by Magic tagged him on the way through. Magic into if he can put it in reverse, he can't. He should have reversed and just driven the car backward. They wonder if the officials
got through,
Ayub,
Travis.
He has, Pete. Ayub through.
So in a dramatic turn of events. Actually, no, Gabor's got a better exit. This is going to be him straight back through, so we'll hold our breath for a minute. But we could have another safety car here, Travis, because we've got a car. Magic beached because of an incident. Oh, no, he's out. He's managed to get it out, so we're fine. But here we go. Into the first corner we go, and it's going to be Gabor who will retake the lead just over Ayu. But we have a race on our hands at the front.
We do indeed. We have a race at the front and a race for second position in the championship. Once again, Ayub trying to score valuable points to take second position in the Drivers' Championship off Zdravko Duponiak and to take valuable points for Born to Race. They could get second position in the Teams Championship. Ayub was briefly leading this race. He would dearly love to win. He can take second in both of those championships, but he would love to cap it off with P1 challenging Gabor. I think this is the closest challenge Gabor has seen all season. There is a drive-through penalty for Adam Brown.
Oh,
he has spent in pit lane again, so he's gone in for repair. An ignominious end to Adam's season. That'll be 2 drive-through penalties in as many excursions through pit lane. He has stopped and gone again, and he will come through once more. But we watch the front. Pete Ayub has fallen back slightly. I dare say he shot everything he had. They had a brief challenge on Gabor, and now he's fallen about 1 second back. Gabor just in control, always so strong. And Adam has retired from the race. He was running so well. He was up to P3 at one point, Pete, and now decides to throw in the towel with a drive-through penalty that would have ended any chance of a strong finish.
Yeah, and Abe's time is running out because Gabor has now settled into what looks like to be the final rhythm for him in this race. Because the gap has gone up to almost a second, 3/10 in the final sector alone, and Ayub really has to push. He has to dig deep if he wants this win.
Yeah, Gabor pulled a full second in that lap. Ayub was right there with him coming into the beginning of the previous lap, and now Gabor extending his advantage. But 5 laps remaining. He has just begun the 36th of 40 laps, and we've seen it go wrong. It can so easily come undone. Gabor took a huge chunk of the sausage curb there.
Has he got damage?
That will have cost him a little bit of suspension damage. That may have been netcode damage we saw on the back of that car. He took a healthy bite of the curbing there. He can't afford to do that. It is so easy to break the car.
Yeah, this car goes through so many stresses and strains around the lap. It is remarkable. The fastest car, the fastest championship in Live for Speed, and we have a thrilling finale actually to the final rounds as we've got cars trying to get past Magic there. That's Gabor getting another lap on Magic there. In fact, that's just 1 lap down for Magic there as we enter the final sector. But yeah, another 0.3 of a second pulled out over Abe on this lap. And in fact, that goes up to half a second as we enter the final sector. So Gabor is on 1.
Yeah, you've made a few mistakes through those fast sweeping bends. You can gain so much time, or you can lose so much time by not being precise. You have to be inch perfect, and Gabor was threading the needle through the racing line, using just the maximum performance of the car to perfection, like he so often does. And Ayub just a little bit wrong, inches off here or there. At that speed, you have to carry so much. And there you can see the driver of the day poll not closed yet. Zdravko Duponiak still leading, though I think some of the people who voted for Zdravko may want to recant those votes. He's been demoted to 4th position, though he's not far behind David Gaj. He could still salvage a podium. Ayub, unfortunately, has absolutely nothing for Gabor. Looked inspired for that 1 lap, briefly held the lead of the race, and is now trailing behind in 2nd position. Though, if we look at the numbers, we run the calculations in the background, I think he will have, if it finishes like this, he will have swiped 2nd position in the Drivers' in Teams Championship away from Zdravko Duponiak and Fragmaster.
Well, we're going to get confirmation at some point. That does seem to be the case right now. Chris can confirm that in our ear, I think, but we'll see as we enter the final few laps. The driver of the day poll is still running. It will end at the checkered flag. So if you haven't, now is the time to put your vote in simbroadcasts.tv/DOTD to vote for your driver of the day. We're a few laps, Travis, from the end of round number 5 of Season 3 of Master Race Cars BF1 League in Live for Speed at Kyoto Ring GP Long Reversed. And it's Gabor, the man of the hour, the man of the series, who is just reinforcing the reason why he has been, the one to watch this season.
Yeah, twice champion in this series. Again, he locked up this drivers' championship and teams championship in the I believe it would have been in the third round. He well clear of his rivals. There are no points on offer that will allow them to overtake him now. He is merely putting his stamp and a victory lap on his second championship campaign in this series. The third championship campaign for Team Sidus, the first season won by Alexi Lamerto, Gabor's teammate. Gabor just sets the fastest lap of the race to add insult to everyone else's injury with a 42.7, only a second and change off his pole position time of 41.5. Ayub now 4 seconds back. David Gaj in third position. He's been up and down the order. Zdravko Toponiak gifted third position to him. So David Gaj, very strong performance for him. I think he'll be very pleased with third position.
Oh,
if he can keep it in the confines of the circuit, which he doesn't, that car badly broken now. Zdravko Toponiak has 7 seconds to cover, and I think he should do pretty easily. David Gaj's car. Oh, that car is badly broken.
Yeah, he's ruined. He's going to have such a difficult time. Yeah, and he's going to be careful with this back marker. That's Imran Azar, who takes a very, very wide berth, and oh my goodness me, David Gaj was having so much trouble trying to control that car through Spoon. Zdravko might have been saved and may be able to clinch a podium out of this one now. But yeah. What on earth? He's had so many opportunities today, and he's had to rely on the misfortune of others to get a result here. And David Gaj is the unfortunate one there. Into the wall, just took too much through the second chicane. And look at that front right. It's completely facing the wrong way, and it's going to be a difficult couple of laps for him after all that effort.
There.
He's right there.
Yeah, the right rear corner of that car is the only one even close to true at this point, and Zdravko through easily. David Gaj, no point in fighting. That car will be compromised in a straight line with the state of the suspension. He's gone sideways, an amazing power slide right in front of another car. I didn't see who that was. That would have been a tense moment for Imran Azar. David Gaj should be able to limp into pit lane. Unfortunately, gives third position to Zdravko Toponiak. Zdravko, who is, I think, too far behind to make a challenge on Ayub now, unless Ayub makes a mistake. The theme of the day, Pete, has been mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Gabor also made mistakes, just highlighting how challenging this car is to drive. We've given some of the drivers a hard time here as Zdravko clouts the wall once again, proving that this is a difficult track with a difficult car. There is something going on in the background, but looks like we're okay. Zdravko, yeah, also into the wall. Yeah, you're right. Mistakes have been the reason why this race has come alive and given us the thrills that it has.
And we've been, you mentioned this at the top, Pete, that we've been a little bit disappointed by the participation. Good grid today with 13 drivers, but I think we see why some drivers are reluctant to have a go with the BF1. It is so challenging to drive. Everything happens so quickly. You have to carry so much speed. You have to be so precise. A tin top GT car or even the slower open wheel cars are so much more forgiving. You're carrying so much less speed that if you put a wheel on the grass, you have a slow spin. You don't necessarily end up in the barrier. This car, you're going so quickly and the margins are so small, they're so fine that one tiny mistake can be race over, end of the day. And it has happened to everyone today. Literally all of the drivers in the running today have had an excursion into the grass or the sand at one point. So we see Gabor just a hair's breadth between the left side wheels and the wall. Gabor leaving nothing out on circuit, giving it his all, even on the final lap of his championship campaign. He doesn't need to do this, or at least he doesn't need to do this in order to beat his rivals. I think he has to do it for himself. The only challenge remaining is whatever challenge Gabor perceives in his own mind. Full send every lap for the entire season. As we watch him come through the final sweeping bends. Peter, you've been the guest commentator twice this season. Why don't you bring Gabor home to finish out the 2023 season?
Well, I don't think that's fair, but I'll take it. Gabor has been the man we've all been paying attention to all season long. He had the championship wrapped up by the end of the previous round, an enormous effort there. We even had a non-championship round thrown in, and he has come out on top. Just 2 corners to go. He has to weave the BF1 through this kink, and then onto the home straight. Point perfect. He comes onto the home straight, and he's going to cross the line to win round 5 and the championship of season 3 of Master Race Cars BF1 League. What an effort. What a machine. What a driver.
Incredible performance by Gabor. Ayub Elanuni crossing the line now, an unlikely second position from 13th. Started at the very back behind Adam Brown, the second of 2 pit lane starters today. And now we look back to Zdravko Deponiak. What might have been winner of the first round after an uncharacteristic mistake by Zdravko Deponiak. Looked like he might pull a blinder today and win the race. It's not to be. Zdravko Deponiak on the 3rd step of the podium. Todd Gonzalez, newcomer to the series, looked like he could sneak a podium today, but he'll be very pleased with 4th position. A couple minor offs, spins in the grass, manages to avoid any walls, doesn't get collected in the by the course cars with some help through the kitty litter. Igor Santos reversing on circuit. Not entirely sure why he's chosen to reverse past the pit lane entrance. I think he's eager to get out of that car. He had a chance at 2nd position in the Drivers' Championship, and it came undone for him early. Igor Santos, unfortunate, was one of the challengers for 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. Was not meant to be for him today. Gabor, there you have it, in 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 40 seconds. Just shy of an hour and a half, even with 2 safety cars and at least 1 VSC.
2 VSCs,
Gabor, your winner and your champion once again. 10 seconds ahead of Ayub Elanuni. Had a chance, briefly held 1st position, but no challenge for Gabor. Zdravko Deponiak finishes 30 seconds adrift in 3rd position. Todd Gonzalez in 4th. Debut drive for him this season. Brings himself all the way up to a 4th place finish. He'll be very pleased with that. David Gaj looked like he could take 3rd, and then it comes unraveled for him in the waning laps. An easy mistake to make through the non-boothy chicane coming onto the national circuit. Hard into the wall. Bad damage on the car. Zdravko able to get through and reclaim a podium. Magic in 6th behind David Gaj. Imran Azar was challenging Gabor early, and then speared off with the controller failure at the conclusion of the 1st lap. Igor Santos in 8th. Adam Brown in 9th retires with about 5 or 6 laps remaining. Jimmy in 10th. Martin's in 11th. Christie in 12th. And Yasin Badal finishes 13th. And here we see in the background, Pete, cars assuming the podium positions. The champion in the center, Gabor, alongside Ayub. A race winner in this series, but not meant to be this season. And then Zdravko Deponiak, championship positions as well. Elmo saying in the background that the finishing order in this race is also the finishing order in the championship. That will be Ayub by 1 point over Zdravko Deponiak. Unable to claim 2nd place in the driver's title, relegated to 2nd by Ayub. Zdravko gives it away in the late going, and Ayub able to take 2nd place, the next best honors after Gabor in the Drivers' Championship. There you go. Gabor, your champion once again. The 3rd season of the MRC BF1 League concluded, and that man right there is just a sensational driver, Peter.
Yeah, hats off to him. He gets joint top of driver of the day as well, but there we go. Thank you everyone who voted for those guys. And yeah, I mean, Travis, you've been commentating on pretty much the whole season, bar 1, I believe. But sum up your thoughts on the championship. It's delivered everything. It's not been without its issues, but we've acknowledged those. Let's focus on the positives as we round it out. What are your highlights of season 3?
Well, the highlights of season 3 was definitely Zdravko. Well, one of the highlights. The big one for me was Zdravko taking an unlikely win in the 1st round. He looked like he was set for 2nd. He was so consistent and so quick, and then it came off for him. Finally, able to win a race when Gabor made a mistake. We had so many personalities this season. We love talking to Dennis Lind. Dennis Lind was able to make an appearance. Recall in that first round, Pete, that he said that he saw a race that morning and decided that he would show up and drive. So, Dennis, very successful in Live for Speed, a successful real life racing driver. We love having his participation, his patronage, and whenever he joins us in the commentary box, we have a great chat with him. I think the biggest highlight is just watching someone so talented, so dominant in any car, let alone the most challenging one in the series. Gabor it's just a privilege to watch him go around because he is so good.
Yeah, I would 100% echo those sentiments as Gabor begins his donut celebrations. I'm surprised he hadn't already started those, to be quite honest, but there we go. He starts to do his donuts. We wait in anticipation whether we're actually going to hear from him. It was teased, but maybe it was just a tease, and he will hold us longer, as Travis.
Yeah, we'll bide our time for a moment and see if he's willing to join. I'd say the final highlight of my season was joining the non-championship round and commentating. So that was a lot of fun. And then it's always a highlight to share the commentary box with you, Peter.
Oh well, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure to share the commentary box with both you and Tom this series. To be honest, I wasn't sure it was going to happen, but there we go. It's a great series to be a part of for sure. We've got some interviews, Travis. We're going to hear from Ayub El-Hanouni first of all. Ayub, P2 and P2 in the championship by one solitary point over Zdravko Topolniak. How do you feel? Ayub, we cannot hear you. I think your microphone might have an issue, so we'll let Ayub sort that out for a moment. Don't forget, Travis, that Ayub also won the participation award as well, the prize from Ricky.
He did indeed. Once we can hear Ayub, we'll ask him about that as well. So we'll give Ayub a second to sort out the microphone. We can see that there is audio activity, but no sound coming through. So. Gabor has left, so that's how he is chosen to celebrate his championship by doing a few donuts, bouncing out of the server, presumably off to get a beer. I wouldn't talk to me either, Pete. I'd go pour a bottle of Suds and celebrate in the comfort of my own living room. And I think we've got one more. We'll give Ayub a minute. We've got one more interviewer or interviewee rather waiting in the wings. Farkas Christie. Farkas had a challenging day once again. You were new to the series this season, and you were allowed to start at the back. And then it seemed like you had some difficulty joining the grid. The aborted start, and then the race came undone for you early. But talk about your season. Talk about the BF1 League, your participation, and how it went for you.
It was great, really great. I want to say congratulations for Gabor. I'm really happy because he's hungry unlike me.
Well, support for your countrymen is always good. Yeah. So, what did you make of your BF1 League experience then?
It was great. The strict rules. The car feels really good.
Well, thanks for that insight. Yeah, go on, Travis. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and how did you find the car to drive? It's certainly from the outside it looks challenging, but share your thoughts on what it's like to drive a virtual Formula One car.
I started with the Xbox controller. I had a little bit trouble. Now I have a steering wheel. It's much more responsive on the turning, but not 900-degree steering. 180-degree steering I have. It's like I controlling the steering wheel in BF1. It's really responsive.
Yeah, but seriously tricky car to drive. Well, we thank you for your participation, Farkas, and we hope you enjoyed it. And well, hopefully we'll see you at an event in future. But thanks for taking the time to come and talk to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was a great season.
Well, thank you very much, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see you next time.
Bye.
Pete, I believe we've got Ayub again. He restarted his TeamSpeak client, so we should be able to pull him in and have a chat with him now.
Yeah, we can have a word with him. Let's have a try. Ayub, are you with us? I really hope he's with us.
I hope he's with us too.
There we
Hey,
go.
there we go.
Welcome, Ayub. P2 and P2 in the championship. Congrats. How do you feel?
I'm very, very happy to have a chance to be in the P2 in the championship. No, Gabor is gone last race, so I was hoping that I may do well. Dravko is very fast, but yeah, it happened from the pit lane, so I'm very, very happy for that.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point actually. I think it's so long ago that I forgot you even had a pit lane start. You started even behind Adam in the pit lane, so it wasn't even a pit lane start really, was it? It was you had a queue to get out.
Exactly. I joined last moment, launched up everything, and so far it went so well with some crashing here and there, and I lost hope mid race, but yeah, it happened, and I got it in the end.
So you made a late challenge, that safety car that went on a mighty long time. Maybe you can talk about managing the car with stone cold tires. You had the lead for just a few moments, and then Gabor able to drive away. Did you feel like you could challenge him for the lead, or was it a race for P2?
Yeah, as you said, cold tires, but it wasn't that bad. The only issues that I got is how to manage the chicane, the entry to the oval, which was I think it's the most challenging corner in this season so far, because if you got it millimeter wrong, you get either camber damage or you lose the car, and then the couple next corners you cannot drive that fast. And when I saw Gabor touch the wall after the safety car, and I said, maybe I got up, maybe I can't do it, maybe he got too much damage, but I got damage myself, and yeah, but he is a beast. He's so fast.
Yeah, that was a theme late in throughout the race, but then late in the race, David Gaj looked on for third and then gave up the position to Zdravko because he clouded the wall very hard coming out of that chicane. So, lucky for you to just give it a light tap and then get away with the damage. Second place in the championship, we mentioned that, and you're very pleased. You've also won the €10 prize for in the draw for participants today. You have to be happy about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You have to claim it from Ricky, though. We've moved him into the commentary box. You have to actually go and talk to him about that. But yeah, you did win that prize.
Yeah, hello.
I'm really surprised. Hello, yeah. I'm really surprised. Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks, Rick, for the championship. I know it's very hard to get the player, as the player base is kind of low, and you had to go for a non-championship mid-season. But I really appreciate your work across the MRC guys, and of course the great commentary here with the Sim Broadcast. Not also to mention Deco and New Dimension, of course.
Well, thank you for your kind words, and once again, congratulations on second place in the Drivers' Championship. I believe that'll also give you second place in the Teams' Championship, but we can you can double check on our math, and after all the results have been scrutinized and posted. Ayub Elanouni, everybody, second place in the Drivers' Championship, second place on the road today. Ayub, I'm sure we'll see you again in other events in the future. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, well done, Ayub. You should be happy with that, mate. So yeah, congrats. Go and enjoy yourself. Maybe go and grab a beer like Gabor did. Thanks for coming to talk to us beforehand, though. Unlike Gabor, but anyway, cheers, man. Have a good one.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye. Rick, what do you make of that finale? I mean, that had everything, didn't it?
I think it was okay, the final. Not so much drivers, but all in all, we see nice fights and good speed.
And I know, the participation has been a theme throughout, but today, pretty good participation. And when we do get a grid, there's always something happens. That's what I love most about this particular event, especially presenting it to everyone. I'm here equal parts. I said this on Friday for Fox Friday, that I'm here equal parts to entertain and be entertained. And this racing is always so entertaining, even when there aren't that many cars to look at. There is just so much to see.
Indeed. And for example, I see, for me, driver of today was car 24. He's a newcomer, and today on place 4.
Yeah, you're talking about Tom Gonzalez there, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's amazing. It's great.
I don't know that he got a vote in the driver of the day poll, which is a shame, unless I missed it.
No, he don't.
Oh, he did. Well, good for him.
But for me, he was driver of the day.
Sorry, we're talking over one another, and I had trouble hearing everybody. Now it is clear to me he did not. But yes, I definitely in the running for driver of the day for me too. Very strong a newcomer. Well, Rick, we once again thank you very much for putting on this event. We know it's a lot of work for everyone involved, and you in particular have put so much time and energy and effort into this, organizing the series, getting the participants, engaging with us at the broadcast team to put together these amazing shows that we enjoy bringing everyone so much. We can't thank you enough for the BF1 League.
Yes, thank you guys for commentate this great series. Also for Jonathan Provence, Jonathan Palmer, to Race Direction, and to the whole team. Thanks.
You are most welcome. Thank you very much.
Deco, you want to say a few words? You're in here, you might as well. Give us your thoughts. I know it's been difficult today, and it's been a difficult series for you guys. Deco's...
He has politely declined.
He's politely declined my request for interview. So yeah, we won't talk to Deco today. But we'll echo those sentiments that Ricky's said. Thank you to all the drivers who have participated. Thanks again to New Dimension Racing and everyone at the MRC team for their input into this series. We massively appreciate it. And of course, finally, to our viewers, without you, we can't put this on, so we really appreciate that as well. Travis, for the final time, sign us out, please.
I shall indeed. Pete, thank you very much for joining me in the box. Tom, if you happen to catch this, or you're listening, you're listening out there in the fields of France, thank you very much for joining me in the box for season 2 and season 3. It's been a joy. To everyone in the MRC team, especially Rick for organizing this series, thank you very much. Deco in the race control booth, Trespasser, everyone else at the NDR team who has participated today, Stuart Baker out there driving the car today, Elmo, who's done this amazing work with the cameras and calls all of the action in the background for us. We couldn't do it without everybody who's involved. And for all of you who turn up to watch these events, we love putting them on for you. We're thrilled for your patronage. Wherever you are, be safe and be well. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.